The cabin from the last video came out great, but now we're going to bring the surrounding area to life to complete this build. To start, we're going to build a beautiful waterfall and river system. We'll construct a lookout, complete with a fire pit and a small bar, some type of gazebo to enjoy the waterfall scenery, and some other details to make this backyard feel so welcoming you won't want to leave. Now that the plan's been laid out, let's get to work. All right, so first I think I want to tackle this waterfall, and you see how like this steps down? This is just from me getting rid of this big ridge that used to be here. I think I'm just going to use that to my advantage, and I'm going to bring the water down, or I guess ice, because that's what we have at the moment. So I'll bring it down each tier. Maybe I'll build like a wall down here or something and have it pool up in here, and then we'll send it off this way with a creek. And it'll split right here, and then we'll do a bridge over the creek to our altar, and then the ice will just run off over the cliff eventually. We're gonna start up here first and just kind of play around with this. Okay, I think that's a good start, and then we can hollow out some caves up there where the water's coming from. Now we want to bring it down this way as well. Okay, I think that's looking good for the framework. I think I want to bring it down this way too, though. Maybe bring it down here. And then open this up a little bit. Yeah, I think we're gonna do it. Now I'm really just trying to follow this terrain. All right, that's good. Let's build from here, huh? This is my first time really getting to utilize the ice. I've done small builds with it before, but never anything to this scale with such a focus on this terrain block. And I absolutely love it. I didn't realize how much fun this would actually be. Okay, that's looking good so far. We got to get some lights in it and let those trees grow. So let's try and hide some lights here. So we definitely want this to glow back here. So let's see if we go like that. Maybe there. We'll try those. Oh hell, should we try in here too? No, I don't think that's gonna work. Okay, and maybe down in here. Maybe some back in here. Yeah, like that. All right, well, we'll see how that works come nightfall. But yeah, that's cool. So we just need to build up a wall here, and we need to push this river all the way out, which means at some point I'm gonna have to move my stuff here inside. I figured now was as good a time as any to build a new workplace inside. I decided that under the stairs was the perfect spot to do so. It's just enough room to fit everything, and this spot needs to be utilized anyways. Okay, this is starting to look good, and as you can see, those trees are starting to grow. Yeah, I like that. That's gonna be awesome. All right, let's keep pushing this river out though. What I think I want to do here is build this out in sections. But I think this is gonna help me determine kind of how I want this thing as I go. All my life, I have spent a lot of times in the mountains, hunting, hiking, camping, and fishing. Those experiences are what I'm drawing on to recreate things that I've seen while walking through the woods or along riversides. Simple things like a split in a river, huge boulders that divert water in different directions, or even trees that grow awkwardly out of the side of mountains. The natural chaos of nature can create the most beautiful scenery. There is no right or wrong in nature, and that's what I'm trying to create. Yeah, there we go. Hey, that's cool. And we'll put a bridge here and a bridge there. We'll plant some trees. We just got to get this to go off the face of the cliff here. Maybe we'll bring it, I don't know, bring it through here and have it wind through these two peaks here. These hills. And then have it come down this way and then drop it off here. I think that'll work. There we go. Yeah, just like that. And we'll definitely complete that waterfall. All right, so this should get us for now. This is an excellent foundation to start from. Then we can put some vegetation on it. We can, throw some rocks and boulders in it. We can throw some greenery around it. This is gonna look really cool. Okay, so speaking of rocks, we could do one like right there. I like that. I just don't want it to cut off so much of the river. I guess what we could do is expand the river. That's kind of cool looking, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. All right, rocks are looking good. Now let's get this wall built up here. And I think for this, I want to use our traditional stone like we've been doing. I guess we'll kind of go there and we'll just curve it with the terrain here. We're not going to do anything super crazy. We'll get it at one certain level, probably like that. And then we'll come back and we'll roughen that up. I think that's going to be the plan. Now I'm just gonna come in here and slap some in the corners where I feel like it needs it. All right, and then I'm gonna bring some of these corners up. Maybe that one there. Maybe another one there and another one there. And I guess we got to figure out what we're gonna do with the creek going in this direction. But for now, we'll pull out our decay tool and we'll hit up all these stones here. We might as well get our ivy and throw some on there. Cool. All right, continuing this wall over here now. Oh, hell yeah. You guys see that? That's cool. All right, I think I want a tree back there. And I think I want a tree by where my cameraman's standing. All right, we'll let those grow and see how they do. Moving on to the island here. Ooh, and I gotta fix that too. Don't let me forget to fix that. Okay, so the plan here is to build a little bridge to the island, and then from the island to our altar. And I think what we're gonna do is we're going to put a path right through here that comes along the house, not too close though, because I want to plant some tomatoes or something right there around here. And this is where the door is gonna be. Our back door is going to be right here. Okay, so for this bridge, I'm gonna have to get rid of some of this ice for now. Okay, I think that should be good enough, but let's test it. I'm gonna use my carved round door here. I'm gonna angle it this way. I'm gonna drop that down just a little bit, just like that. Okay, and I'm gonna grab this table here. I'm gonna rotate it to match. Okay, so the lowest I want my path, I think, is gonna be there. So that means this frame can come up a little bit. Probably to there. There we go. Now we should be able to just slap our ice back. Yep, just like that. Okay, next I think we need to work on this door. So go ahead and pull those three out there. This is gonna be rough. Nice. Nice. I was expecting to pick up a bunch of other frames around it. All right, now that that door's done, it's time to work on this path. All right, coming along, coming along. So now what I think I want to do is I think I want to put a small wall around here. And when I say small, I mean like small, just some stones, some separating stones. And then we'll plant some more flowers on this side. I want to bring another path out here and build an observation deck out here. Someplace you can come hang out and just look at that view. I mean, just look at that view. And also you can see the Wizard's Tower in construction down there a little bit. Way down there. All right, so let's get going on this wall. All right, now in some of these spots, I'll bring it up just a little bit. All right, now I think I'm just going to round this off here and start to guide it towards the other way. And this right here isn't going to be perfect right now. This is just kind of like an outline to help remind myself that this is what I want to do later. Okay, I like that. And now we're going to come back to our moss block. We'll go ahead and put it there. Okay, cool. All right, so I kind of got this next area set up a little bit. I mean, all I really did was spread some moss, but we're gonna build a little tool shed next. I think we're gonna put this thing, I don't know, right there. Well, it doesn't look like what side I put this on. It's always going to open inward. Well, I guess it is what it is, right? All right, now I want to put a big old rock right there. Yeah, I think that looks good. And we'll plant a couple of trees back here. All right, let's go ahead and get our path in here. Bring it out this way. Something like that. Okay, now we have to wait for all of that to grow before we can do anything else. At least with this path, that is. All right, I want to build a lookout here to take in that view. So let's go there. Okay, so I built this thing and then I came back later to change it, as I'll explain in a second. It just wasn't to the quality that I like for my builds. Just know that you may see the original build in the background throughout the rest of the video because I changed it after I built all the stuff around it. All right, it's a new day IRL and I'm ready for some building, but I realized something. The overlook that I built, I really don't like. It's ugly. I'll show you guys what it looks like here. This thing is just too bland It's too tall and it doesn't match anything around here. So I'm going to completely redesign this thing right now. Okay, for starters, let's extend this out by 1. Yeah, that really opens it up. 1's fine. Okay, now let's go ahead and get our pillar in. Okay, we're gonna leave the railing for now because that is undecided. But what is decided is that I want to put a bar right along this wall here. And then we're gonna have a moss arch here at the entryway. You know, it will probably arch around the bar too. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, let's quit talking about it. Let's be about it, huh? I decided to use flower soil for the arch instead because I felt like the color made this area a little bit more inviting. All right, so for the actual bar here, let's see, I want 3 spaces of walking room and then 1 is a buffer. So I'll go 3 there. And then, I don't know, how far do we want to bring this out? Maybe all the way there. I mean, that's a big bar. I think we want this thing to feel a little bit more private. So we just want it to be a small little bar for hosting at, you know? Okay, let's start with that and we'll grab our table here. This is what's going to be our bar top. So I'm just going to drop this down about there and bring this a little closer. It's totally okay if it clips through that railing over there. I'm not worried about that because we could always put some sort of end cap on it and kind of frame it out. Cool, I dig that. Well, I spent so much time on thinking what I was going to do next. Started to get dark on me, but I'm glad it did. Check out that wall. That's cool. I definitely wanted to use this block somehow, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. But once this bar's built up, I think this is going to look really cool. I don't know. I think that's fine. It's fine for now. I may change that. I mean, you know how I am. All right, now we'll just get some drinks placed on here. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do these one at a time. That way I don't have them blocking each other while I'm trying to place these bottles. So we'll get one of those on there. And normally the way I like to do this is I like to set it up kind of disorganized and in disarray. I think it looks a little bit more natural that way. However, on this one, I think we're going to do it very clean and orderly. Maybe these folks like to have their stuff organized neatly. Maybe they got the fancy stuff right here in the middle. Yeah, something like that. Got some water on the side. I hope that doesn't drown out too much of this blue light. I'll check it again at nightfall, and if it does, then we'll get rid of it. All right, let's go ahead and extend this all the way out because we're going to do like a little single seating area over here. Okay, that's cool. We're definitely off to a better start this time. But now we got to focus on the rest of this. And I think I want to extend the whole thing this far. Yeah, just like that.
Okay, and then let's see, right about here.
I want a fire pit. I like to build my own style of benches to create a more custom feel to the area. I did the same thing in the Hobbit home, and I'll do it again later for the gazebo. I think it adds just a little bit more uniqueness to a build.
All right, sweet bench. Now, I think I'm going to do in the corners, I'm going to do 2 more little private sitting areas. So they'll kind of be cut off from everything else. Not too much. It'll be open on this side, but maybe closed on this side a little bit. And I'll do one on each side here. All right, and if we come up here and we add 3 there, get rid of those, drag that across the top there. I think we can get rid of that one. Then grab our frames here on a very slight angle. Yeah, I think that'll do. Throw up some temporaries there. I want to try and match the pitch of those window frames. Come out to there. And now a table for 2. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so we'll build something similar on the other side, I guess. I think next I want to double up this archway here. And there we go. I think that's going to complete the deck. This is so much better than what we had before. If you notice, I went through and replaced some of the planks in there with 2 different styles of wood. It's kind of a cool texture it gives to it, especially when you're just looking across it like this. Anyway, we can call that done and we can move on now.
Okay, we're now back to where we left off before changing the observation deck. So you'll see that gross abomination that I had previously built. Don't judge me. We've all built something that we later didn't like, right?
There we go. And just like the other one, we'll totally finish that all the way down to the bottom. All right, I think I want to put my gazebo right here somewhere. And I want to raise this up just a little bit. So what we'll do, we'll get our moss and we'll just kind of build this up. There we go. And we'll grab our stone here. We'll just kind of make ourselves a little wall to kind of contain this a little bit and separate it from the path. All right, now that that's done, we can get this part here all finished up. All right, so that about gets us on the backyard. Now we still have to do the front yard, but first there's something else I want to change. I know, I do this all the time, but I think it's going to be better. So what I want to do is I want to bring this creek and I want to split it right here across this path, and we'll build us a cool little bridge. And then we're going to bring it between these trees into this open area. And we're going to put a pond right here. Yeah, baby, a pond. And then we're going to bring another little creek out this way, cross through here, put another sweet little bridge. You know, we're going to have it snake right through here and dump over the edge on this side as well. I think that's going to be super sweet.
With the construction of this bridge, we can call the backyard complete. I wanted to get the front yard in this episode as well, but there's a lot of micro details I wanted to capture when constructing the terrain, and as a result, this episode ended up being too long to add the front yard to as well. So there will be a whole nother video on the front. And if you liked this video, then you don't want to miss the next one because it's going to be just as cool. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I hope you all stay safe. Take care.
Now, normally when I set things up like this, I like to set it up kind of disorganized and in disarray. I think it looks a little bit more natural. Whoa. And right when I go to record, the sun goes behind the clouds. Perfect. All right, now that that's done, we can get this part here all finished up. There's a hole in my yard. And then we're gonna have the entryway with a you know, with a arch, you dummy. All right. And in our entryway here's gonna have a